Hi, I'm Owen, and this is episode 2 of We Have Liftoff. Logan Staugh's career has just blown up. He was number 1 on iTunes in Canada for a couple days there, 44K streams on his YouTube video. I mean, he's doing numbers. And I've tweeted at him a couple times and he hasn't replied to me once. Seeing as this is sort of like the number 1 The Launch after show, it's kind of crazy that he wouldn't kind of hit me up or whatever, but moving on, because episode 2 packed a punch. So the celebrity guests this week were Jennifer Nettles, who is a singer-songwriter from the States who's been in multiple bands, and then Ryan Tedder from OneRepublic. Moving on to the artists. Let's get started with Light Years.
A couple years back, we took upwards of, $40,000, liquidated all of our assets that we owned, and put into making a 5-song record. We went on tour and absolutely nothing happened.
Oh boy. Again, I'm not slighting. It's kind of like the Havlin thing last week. It's like, I'm not Light Years. I'm not saying that you're a bad band. I'm just saying nothing. God, I don't know if I like going in this direction. Don't use floor toms. What are you, Arcade Fire? I'm old. I'm 23. But that's like old. It's really hard for me to watch. Eventually, I think we all come to a realization that indie music kind of fucking sucks. I'm being facetious. Clearly, Light Years is not an indie band. They're an indie pop band. And they just take all the tropes of all the other indie bands, Half Moon Run, shit like that, and just did it worse. Divine Light Body.
What do you have prepared today?
I have Redemption Song by Bob Marley.
Wow.
Yes.
Great song choice.
Honestly, when I watched her audition, her presence and the way she held herself, and then she chose to do a Bob Marley song, which is a little unorthodox, I was like, yeah, of course she's making it to top 2. But then at the end of the song, when she went to that, that ending, it was like, okay, first of all, that was not necessary. Probably should have taken that out. But then as soon as I thought the judges were gonna go in still, be like, you know what? Ending was weird, but you're great. Let's move you in. You're awesome. You star potential. But they all immediately were like, yo, listen, this song isn't for you. And that's what's so interesting about this show, is that it's not just about raw talent. It's not about being the best player necessarily or looking a certain way. It's really about is the song that they have made gonna suit this person? And in this case, it didn't work for Divine Light Body. This is the tough part, because she is 16, and when you're 16 and you're on a platform like that and you're given this opportunity to maybe do great things and you don't get those great things and you're rejected, it's gonna hit really hard, because you're young and you're what's the point, Kids are angsty. So I really hope that Divine, if you're out there listening, you keep your shit going, because it is fantastic. Song wasn't for you, but definitely, I'm sure we'll see Divine Light Body on the charts one of these days. Moving on to Basil Phoenix.
And how long have you been singing?
I've been singing since I was about 7 years old.
And what do you like about it?
I love how graceful it makes me feel.
She had a good voice. Her original song struck me as even better than the cover that she did, but she struggled projecting and really being full, but she was always holding something in. It was like, you could just hear her being so stressed and tense, and it was really tough to listen to, because if you sing like that, it's unpleasant. It makes people feel like, oh, you gotta get that out there. Everyone wants to pass you the joint and just say, chill the It's like when somebody next to you is pacing around and nervous. You can't be chill when someone is doing that, because it's like, well, fuck, now I'm freaking out because this person's all antsy and shit. And that's kind of what Basil Phoenix's voice was like. Now, another thing with Basil is she has great potential in her name, but I think it had to go one way or the other. I don't think it should be Basil Phoenix. We could play off the Basil thing or play off the Phoenix thing. Pick one and run with it. I would say cut your losses on that and just pick one. J.P. Maurice.
So, what cover are you gonna play for us first?
I'm gonna play Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus.
Rock on.
Bias alert, he's a friend of mine. But he came out there, and I gotta say, the first choice of his song, the cover, and I feel like this is a pattern with all of the musicians tonight at least, the covers were just generally a little lackluster. That means that these artists are more comfortable performing their own material, and if that material is also good, then that's way better than being some fucking cover artist, right? You're not gonna be able to make a lot of money just doing Taylor Swift covers. That being said, it does kind of show a lack of focus and a lack of hard work when you can't nail the cover, it's a lot more transparent. It's good for the judges to see because it's like, I don't know how you perform your original, so I can't judge whether or not you're performing it well. But with the covers, it's pretty clear with JP, for example, that Wrecking Ball, I love you JP, but Wrecking Ball, this is a dumb song. But then he moved into the piano, which was a great choice, and he played his new song, Shapeshifter. There was a moment with him and Ryan Tedder where it was like, wow, maybe they're just gonna go off and produce another version of Shapeshifter. Cool. If I was JP, I'd be super proud, and I'm super proud of him for, going through with that. Then we have Elijah Woods, X Jamie Fine. And I feel like that's a Macklemore sort of like thing, like Macklemore X Ryan.
I want to hear you at full power.
I think
Our
our
original is a
Full Power?
song.
Okay.
Hemsworth. They were great right off the bat. There's definitely a ton of issues having a duo where only one of them is the vocalist and the other one is, I guess, the producer and like a writer, keyboard player. It's not a problem in the wild, out in the wild of music, but in a show like this where there's already a producer in place that's going to kind of take the reins, I could kind of see red flags immediately with the duo. But that being said, Jamie Fine's vocals just holy shit. I think she killed the audition, and I mean, it was pretty clear that they were gonna get through for me. But I do want to touch on one thing. Scott Borchetta, you snake, you dog.
Any of your experience with Adele apply? I mean, just in some arc, because of the bluesy power that she's got.
You are something else. So at the end of the day, Elijah Woods x Jamie Fine and Basil Phoenix moved on to the next round. JP, I'm gonna slide into his DMs and see if maybe there's a little songwriting thing going on with him and Ryan Tedder. Cross my fingers, because that would be a sick collab. Moving on to the song.
There you go.
That's a great song.
Ain't Easy. Kind of interesting. I've been hearing rumors about this song, that he wrote it with Camila Cabello. She's the woman responsible for Havana, feat Young Thug. And holy, that is like one of my favorite songs of the summer by far. But yeah, she apparently helped write the songs for Ryan Tedder. Really like the song. I'm really enjoying the production value on this show. So, good choice. Now, Basil Phoenix, let's start with her. Definitely struggled rhythmically in the studio.
Nope, came in ahead of it. There when the boom, that's the loving me easy. I think I got about 2 minutes in, if that. And I was texting like one of my writers, was like, I don't know if this is gonna work.
Oh, sorry, okay?
After seeing that clip, I was absolutely blown away that she was able to stay so rhythmically on point for the actual live performance. I know that there's some post-production involved in this show, so I'm not really sure how many times she maybe fucked up and they like cut between takes. There's nothing wrong with that. This is about making a pop star, and a lot of pop stars are the exact same way, where it's like they're kind of shitty live, but post-production, it's possible to still win and have a shitty first performance. That being said, they had that auto-tune machine just ripping full speed. Elijah Woods and Jamie Fine come into the studio where Ryan Tedder is about to produce the vocals for the song. And Elijah Woods made a power move and walked up and said, "We've changed the key." But the key change was not great.
Baby, you're all I see. Missing the touch of your skin, I want it.
Not a great choice. And in the end, they ended up switching it back. Good thing Scott Borchetta and Ryan Tedder are veterans. I'm not sure what happened behind the scenes. But what was really nice is from what we saw, when Elijah Woods and Jamie Fine brought those choices, they seemed very comfortable and very open to retracting them. And so when they said, we should change the key, they weren't like, oh. And that is like the #1 thing where it's like, you suck. Do not do that. Then Jamie sang live. And when Jamie hit that floor, holy shit. Basil did a great job, but Jamie has that confidence. She has that power. She's got that killer diaphragm, and she just ran away with it. I have no idea why Elijah Woods was on stage for half of that performance. You could kind of hear the keys, and the mixing is pretty shit on this show, I will say. The way they mix these things, it sounds like karaoke. He looked like a knob, so I'm a little concerned because, spoiler alert, Elijah Woods x Jamie Fine took home the grand prize, and they've launched their song. But something tells me that Big Machine Records and all these studio execs that are gonna glob on and try to take a piece of their pie, I feel like a lot of them are gonna say, you know what, Jamie? What's with this Elijah Woods character? Get him out of the picture. That being said, when I woke up this morning, I went and checked out some of their earlier work, and Elijah Woods is a good producer. No diss in him. I just think that in this industry, and the way that they frame the show, it's just like that. He doesn't really have a place.
Of your skin, I want it.
He has no role. So we'll see what happens in the future. I'm sure they'll collab a lot, but I can see Jamie Fine also going off and doing lead vocals on other producers' work. And if that's what she chooses to do, good for her. I'll keep both of them in my good books, and hopefully we'll hit each other up in the DMs, make some collabs, because I'm out there on the next Lightyear. Yeah, so all in all, another great episode of The Launch in the books. Very excited for next Wednesday to see who else hits that stage and prepares for Liftoff. I'm really hoping that they have some sort of tour at the end of this 6 weeks where like all the bands go across Canada, because that would be awesome. And maybe I can join, maybe I'll be the host. You know what, CTV, if you're out there, you don't have a live host. I know you have a voiceover person and that's great, but you need a Seacrest and I'm here for you. I can be your Seacrest. So hit me up in the DMs at The Mouth God on all social media platforms. You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, anything. And every week, every Thursday, the day after the launch releases, we do our analyses here at We Have Liftoff. And it's gonna be a great one next week. I'm really looking forward to it. So stay tuned. I'll be here, you'll be here, and we'll have a great time.